All right, welcome to the first origami class. My name is Zachary.
My name is Edward.
So our first activity is going to be the icebreaker activity. So we're just going to do a quick introduction of ourselves. So I'll go first. My name is Zachary Leong. I'm in 9th grade. My favorite color is blue. And I do have origami experience, and my favorite food is udon.
Hi everyone, my name is Edward Shaw. I'm in 10th grade. My favorite color is black. I have some origami experience. My favorite food are French macarons. Okay, so our goals for today are, so first we're going to start off by making snowballs, and then we're going to learn, and then Zachary's going to show you how to make a boat, and then we're going to show you how to make a square from any rectangular paper, so like your standard paper, and then Zachary's going to show you how to make a dog, and then I'm going to show you how to make a fortune teller, and then we're going to show me and Zachary playing each other's fortune tellers, and then we're going to finish it off with a butterfly.
So first, we're just going to show off some models that we folded. So Edward will go first.
Okay, so my first model is, so I made these paper cranes, and let me show you one of them individually. So they're just these simple cranes. I made a bunch of them, and what you can do with these is you can hang them up, and they make great decoration. And then something else I made is this. This was a rather lengthy project, but it's this ring of origami cubes that's in rainbow. And some origami projects take longer than others. This one took longer because it had a lot of steps. And then my most recent one is this Christmas tree. This is just 3 little bases stacked on each other. And then this is just a pretty nice looking tree. And now Zachary's going to show you his models.
Yes, so this is like the first rat I made. I don't know if you can see it very well, but that was modeled by Eric Giselle. And this is a motorcycle I made. And this made it of more than one piece of paper. See, like the wheels come off, and you can just hook them back on. And my last model is a lion, really just from the Lion King. And right now I'm working on a dragon. It's pretty complex, really big piece of paper. So yeah.
Alrighty, so now we're gonna get started with our first activity. Okay. So our first activity is gonna be the snowball. So what you wanna do is start off with a piece of paper, preferably white because it is a snowball. And then what you do is you hold it up. And then slowly bring it to the center. So bring all sides to the center, and you can get creative with this. It doesn't have to be any specific folds, and just make sure that you bring it to the center because it's a ball after all, and then you just want to compact it further and further until it becomes kind of like a sphere shape. And at this point, it's not very round. So what you want to do is you want to try your best to make it as round as you can. And at this point, you just keep doing that until you get your desired size snowball. And then, so this is mine, and that's Zachary's. And yeah, so this is your first origami model, and it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
And you can throw it at whoever you want. Be safe, don't hit anyone's eye. But yeah, it's very, very usable in many situations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now
our second model is gonna be a boat. So just take any regular paper, right? And since I have words on one side, I'm gonna fold it in half on that side. So the thing about origami is you gotta be really precise in your folds. Make sure the corners match all the other corners, so it makes a really clean fold. So right now you're folding on the hot dog way, horizontally, or vertically, sorry, my bad. Okay, once you have that, we're gonna fold it one more time horizontally, the hot dog way. So this is more of a guideline so that we can perform the next step. So once you got there, you're going to take the corners and you fold it to the center on both sides. Do the same on the other side. And the way we crease our folds is using our fingernails so that can make a much deeper fold. So the next thing we're going to do is, we can see here there's two little flaps, and we're going to fold it all the way up onto the origami on one side. Once you have that, we're going to flip the model over, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So now technically you have your first real origami model, a hat. You see this little hole? That's where you put it on your head, like this. Yes, very nice hat indeed. Now I'm going to keep going. So we're going to use this hat to make a boat. It's hard to believe, but yes, it's possible. So we're going to see this little hole here. We're going to push the two corners together. So now we make a square from a triangle. And you can probably see there's like the paper is lifting up on both sides a bit. So we're going to just take one layer and put it over the other so we can make it flat on both sides. It doesn't matter which layer goes on top, any one is fine. So once you have that, again, we'll have like two little flaps here, and we're going to fold one side up to the top. And we're going to use our fingernails to crease. Do the same thing on the other side. So now we have a triangle again. Technically, we have another mini hat that's smaller, but we're going to take this hole again and push the corners together to make a square. So once we have the square, we're going to take the one corner where you can see it up close. There's a little like spikies here, and we're going to pull the two sides out like that. I'll do it one more time. You guys can see. And then once you flatten out the model, this, you have a boat. Yay, your first model of origami is finished. All right, Edward will take it from here.
All right, thank you, Zachary, for the boat. Now we're going to work on our next model, which will be making a square from your normal size paper that you're familiar with. So you won't have origami paper like this all the time, and some models you need a square for. So how do we get a square from a normal size paper? Well, we're first going to pull diagonal here. So it doesn't matter which corner, but take a corner and just fold it across the paper until the edge lines up with, well, until the top edge lines up with the other one. So it should form a triangle with two sides that are the same, and the diagonal should be longer than the two. So once you have your triangle here, you want to fold this. I would turn it over and take the excess part that's not in the triangle and just fold it and make sure the fold matches the side of the triangle at the bottom so that it makes the triangle grip as a perfect triangle. Okay, so your fold here, and make sure this fold is creased well because we're actually going to be ripping this fold to make the rectangle into more of a square, which is what we're looking for by doing this. So what I would do is I would crease it one side with your nail and then fold it over and crease it again with your nail really hard. So you just want this fold to be as deep as you can because once you do that, it should rip easier. And then now take your fold, and I usually have mine kind of like slanted upwards. And then you should take your hands, put them on each side of the fold, and just slowly start ripping the paper out. So it should come out like this. And then this is the paper that we just ripped off. And then this is not part of the square, obviously. So now you're left with a square that you can use to make any models that require a square. Okay, so now Zachary's going to show you how to make a dog out of paper. So Zachary, you can take it from here.
All right. So to make a dog, it's just going to be the face of the dog, no body or anything. We're going to take both the corners. So we already folded it in half, right? We take both the corners and we're going to get it, we're going to make ears for the dog. So we're going to fold it into tiny triangles, the left and the right, and try to make it as symmetrical as possible because you don't want the dog having one larger ear than the other. And when you have that, we're just going to take the bottom corner. See, there'll be like two flaps here. We're just going to fold it up to make another triangle. And if you want, you can fold this tiny part in so that it gives the nose a little rounder look. So now you pretty much have your dog. All you have to do is draw the eyes so that the dog can see. I'm not particularly good at drawing, but I know Edward is better. Oh, my eyes are off center.
Draw the eyes.
So now you have your dog.
Awesome. Okay, so this was our first model with the square paper. And the next one you might have heard of before, but this will be the fortune teller, which is also a model you can play with your friends, as it's very customizable with your own messages, and you can make it whatever colors you want. So fortune teller is a great way to kind of make new friends too. So
Let's start with the square. So we're going to take another piece of paper and make a square again. So first fold it diagonally. Edward had already made some squares beforehand. So you can just follow me and then take this one and fold it on the line you just made from the triangle that you folded. Once you unfold everything, we want to crease it a bit more on the other side so that we can get a better rip. Now we have a square. So Edward will take it from here.
All right. So as you can see, when we had to make the square out of the paper, we conveniently already made one fold diagonally across the square. So we're actually going to just follow that up with another one. So this one will just give us two diagonal lines that cross each other in the center of the square. So once you've made your fold, you can unfold it, and then you'll have two creases here. And so now we know the center of the square is where these two intersect, or where the lines cross each other. And so we're just going to take one corner, the corners, all four corners actually, and then just fold them to the center here so that they create four little flaps. So the first flap will be this one, and then you rotate it and do all four of them. Try to make it even, because these are going to be important for making the next part of the fortune teller. So make these creases nice and deep, because you're going to need these for reference when you fold the next part. I'm doing my last fold here. Alrighty, so now we've made our four flaps here on one side, and what we're going to do is just going to flip it over and make a new, we have our new side here. And as you can see, we have our creases from the diagonal fold that we first did, and we're just going to take four corners again and meet them in the center where these two lines meet. So same concept, try to make your folds deep, because this just helps the process go much more smoothly overall. Yeah. So this fortune teller model is also really easy to memorize, because all you're really doing is just making folds to the center and then flipping it and making more folds to the center. So yeah, it's very, very simple. It's a good beginner model. Okay, so now we have four more flaps here. And as you can see, these four flaps have these little lines in the center. So it looks like there's 8, but there's 4. So now we're going to make our fortune teller. So I would flip it over again. So you have the side with the more square-like flaps. And so we're going to fold it over like this and make sure your square flaps are on the outside, because these are actually going to be the flaps for your fortune teller. So what we want to do now is, this part's going to be a bit tricky, but you want to tuck your fingers into the square flaps. So I have 2 tucked in here, and then I'll have 2 more on the other sides. And then once you have this, you kind of want to push it together, and it helps to kind of adjust it if it's not folding, if it's not working very well, as Zachary's doing. And then so now push it together, and it should reveal 4 flaps like this. And then you should be holding it. This is how most people hold it. And you can, as you can see, you can move it this way and this way, which is how it works. It also looks like a talking piece of paper. And yeah, looks like a lot of things, but we're going to be purposing this as a fortune teller. So now we're going to be writing our first numbers on here. Make sure your numbers aren't too big because you will be having people ask you which number it is. And I don't think you guys want to be doing this 2,000 times. So make sure you write numbers that you're okay with maneuvering this as many times of. And you might be asking, Edward, why don't we write the numbers when it's flat? Well, because we want the numbers to, look right side up on our fortune tellers. So this is going to be a bit tricky to write, but
Try
I
to
would
write the
use
numbers
markers.
between and 1 and 20. Probably.
Yeah, I would try to write your numbers with markers or bright colors so that people can see them. So I'll be writing mine with a red highlighter. We're just writing our numbers. It also kind of helps to just make a kind of flatter surface by tucking this in, because if you don't, you're kind of just writing on a piece of paper that's midair. So that's not as easy to do. And yeah, so I have my 4 numbers. They can be any number between 1 and 20. That's a good range that Zachary gave. So these are 4 numbers. And now we're going to work on the inside of it. So you kind of want to unfold it like how we had it before. But don't worry, we're going to refold it again. We're not going to just use it unfolded. So now, as you can see, we have 8 sections on here. And basically what you want to do is once you go through the first round of numbers that we just wrote, you're going to see 4 of them in the center. And I would just number these 1 through 8. So because you're not going to use these numbers to do more moving with the fortune teller. Alrighty, so these are my 4 numbers, or 8 numbers. And so now under each number, under each flap, there's actually a section for 2 numbers. So what you're going to do is you're just going to write a little message in each triangular section you see here. So Zachary and I are going to work on writing our messages right now.
All right, I'm done with my messages.
Alrighty, I know the messages too. So now we're ready to make, we're now ready to play. So we're gonna fold these flaps back in to cover the messages with your numbers from 1 to 8. And then we're gonna fold it back in half with the squares on the, with your 4 numbers on the outside. And then we're gonna put our fingers in the flaps again. And then this time it should be easier because you fold it already. But again, if you need to do some adjusting like I have to do, so make sure you're, it looks like this, and then push it back together to have a fortune teller. And now Zachary and I are gonna play each other's fortune tellers. So I'll play Zachary's first. Okay, I choose 5. Okay, I choose 3.
You get 1 hour extra video game time.
Awesome. Okay, now Zachary's gonna play mine.
All right, I choose 3.
1, 2, 3.
I choose 3.
Righty. Oh no, Zachary. It looks like you stepped on dog food. Okay. We're gonna play each other one more time. I choose 12.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12.
Alrighty. I will choose 2.
You will grow taller than your peers.
Alrighty. That sounds like a great thing. Okay. Zachary's gonna play mine one more time.
How about 12?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I choose 8.
Alrighty. Looks like you will be watching a new movie soon.
Oh, I wonder what that one is. So we'll be watching.
Alrighty. I think we're gonna move on to our last model for today. So Zachary, you can take it from here.
So the last model we need to work on is that we're gonna make is a butterfly. It's relatively easy, but we need another square again. So again, we're gonna take this edge and fold it to that edge. So to form a triangle. Try to make it as accurate as possible so that all sides of your square will be equal. I know Edward had some origami paper prepared ahead of time, but for those who have not, we'll be making another square again. And flip the model over and then fold the flap to the line of the triangle so that you get this little shape. Make sure to crease it a lot so that you can rip it easier. So I always like to start ripping by just a little bit, and then you can rip the rest. Turns out pretty nice. Now we got our square. So, sorry, I'm just blurry now. Alright, so our first fold is we already have a diagonal, right? So we're going to fold another diagonal opposite way. fingernails crease. Then, like we learned earlier, this is the center of our model. So we're going to fold in half the paper so that we can perform the next fold. And do the same on both sides. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this one in half, the fold that we already made, right? And you see the side that opens up to you, we're going to fold this in half, but at the same time pushing this down. So then now you got this little flap here. But I'll show it again if you want. I'll do it this way. Fold it in, that, and then push it down. So that you make this little triangle looking thing. And once you got that, you should be able to flip it to the other side and do the same thing on this side. And now you did pretty much the hardest part of this model. So you see there's like 4 flaps here, which will be each will be a part of the wing of the butterfly, right? So the next step we're going to do is we're going to take 2 flaps that are facing you or on top. We're going to fold it to the tip of the center. I'll give a minute so that Edward can catch up. All right, so we're going to take the 2 flaps on top and we're going to fold it to the center, but a little bit off to the side. So about that much. It's almost like the dog ears from before, you know. But make sure it lines up to the tip back here. So fold it to the center and then move it a little bit to the side. Just like that. So now you have this kind of shape up top, right? We're going to flip the model over. We're going to take the thicker flap from back here. And again, we're going to fold it so that it meets the top, but push it up just a little bit more. And then what happens is these flaps start to stick up like this, right? Because right here, it's like the model will not be flat at this point. So once we have this fold made, it should look like that. We're going to flip it over. And we're going to fold this tip inwards so that this line becomes flat. Do a crease because this fold is pretty thick. Once you have achieved this point, we're moving on to our last step. We're just going to fold the model in half. So it's going to be a really thick fold, but I'm sure you should be able to do it. And make sure that the tips match each other, because that means you folded it in half. Then, now you have your butterfly.
Alrighty. Okay, so this was our last model. So this is all we're going to teach today, but make sure you guys tune in next time, and we're going to be teaching you more models, and they're going to be a bit more complex, but I'm sure you guys can do it. And yeah, thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Homework, you don't have to do homework. The homework's optional, but I'm sure it's winter break and you have a lot of time. Just pick one origami tutorial, any origami tutorial you find online, and just make something and then show it to us next class. Got it?
All right, that sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for watching.